So far, we have explored the basics of human language, natural language processing, tokenization, text data pre-processing, and embedding techniques. In this video, we are going to talk about machine learning model and how machine learning models are generated. To illustrate the concept of machine learning model, let us draw an analogy to how we educate a young child about dinosaur. I'm going to use my son's personal picture. Initially, I presented few dinosaur toys to him, followed by a few more, and a few more. And this process repeats many times. Every time when I present a bunch of dinosaur toys during the training or teaching phase, my son utilizes his brain and memory to grasp patterns inherent in the diverse array of dinosaur toys. Eventually, a pivotal moment arrives when my son, using the learned patterns stored in his brain memory, independently identifies the toys as dinosaurs and even distinguishes between various species. So, in this analogy, we talked about input data, we talked about training, we talked about pattern extraction from input or training data. Then we also talked about learning the patterns. So my son was able to learn the patterns from the training data, the dinosaurs, which I was showing to him. Storing learned pattern in memory. So my son was able to learn the patterns and then he was able to memorize those patterns. Evaluating if learning is proper. Then applying learned pattern on new data. And if needed, retraining the whole process. And the goal was to reach to a stage where he was able to identify or predict that this is a dinosaur and the classification of the dinosaurs. So with these keywords in mind and with this analogy, how we trained a kid, let us move further and try to understand training a machine or what is machine learning models. Similar to how a child learns to identify a dinosaur by being shown various toys of dinosaurs, machine learning algorithms learn patterns from data. Similar to human brain, in data science or machine learning, there is something called deep neural network. It is nothing but a piece of software code called algorithm. Just as we repeatedly exposed a child to various dinosaur toys, a deep neural network algorithm is fed a multitude of dinosaurs images. The algorithm's primary function is to learn patterns within those input training data. All these nodes which you see here are the nodes which are nothing but different functions to learn some pattern in the input training data. Much like the child used memory to store learned patterns, these algorithms uses computer memory to retain these acquired insights. This training process of this deep neural network algorithms produces something called model. This model has its own memory where it has saved the learned patterns, also called features or parameters or weights. We keep on repeating this training process like we repeated for a child by feeding same data again and again. And this training process keep on generating these trained models. Then we test this model with a new input data called testing data to check if it is able to identify a dinosaur inside an image. This is called prediction by this trained model. When we realize that it is still not up to the mark of identifying dinosaur in the given image, then we further train with more data. Let this deep neural network learn more patterns and let it update its memory with more learned patterns and produce an updated model. Get that updated model again and validate. If it is still not up to the mark and not able to identify the dinosaur in the images, ingest more training data, let this algorithm learn more patterns and produce an updated model. So this process repeats. There comes a situation where our model starts detecting the dinosaurs in the input image. This is what machine learning model is, and this is how they are trained or generated. So now with this analogy, I hope you are able to understand what is machine learning model and how machine learning models are trained.